Right, welcome back to another Code Talk. Well, the thing is, I managed to accidentally corrupt the first hour and a half or so of footage midway through recording, so yeah, that's why this bit is slowed down. Because I'm showing off what I've managed to do during that time that I've corrupted the footage. So this is supposed to be the prequel tree. This is a bunch of stuff that was already done, sort of like how in TNO in the US, Nixon has part of his tree already done. For example, the whole campaign tree is already completely finished. The civil rights tree is mostly done, with one small decision, and the foreign policy tree is basically just domino theory, and then you have the rest of the tree to work with. So this is supposed to be a preview of what happened. This isn't finished, but everything that has a focus here has text to it. And I may also add some stuff to the two options that aren't taken, because the coalition with the Navos is the one that was taken inside this scenario. Along with after the government established, it's with the fix the economy, there are two focuses. There's expand agrarian subsidies or prepare for reindustrialization, with a choice that happened being prepare for reindustrialization. A couple of these have effects, but only for um, display purposes. I need to see how to get it so that it starts that way. How TNO does that. Would be nice to see that. Because it does that for the US plus for the starting tree for Brazil. Anyway, so I also did ideas for France, two of them. The first is shackle growth, where the French economy was bolstered by the Rhinish economy, and used that in order to basically bypass the Great Depression. Mostly. The thing is, the economic growth of France has been severely reduced. GDP growth was historically about 10% all the way up until World War II. Well, 10% of what it was beforehand, all the way up to World War II. And this also caused it to mush, well, in this timeline, the economies of France and the Rhineland are now very strongly connected together. There's also the Franco-British rivalry, which at the start of the game the French have a slight advantage in, and they will get political benefits, maybe some negatives for that. Thankfully, I can just use that for the moment. The um, Army Navy, the Japanese Army Navy rivalry from vanilla, from the base game. I'm to show that. Right, and here begins the time lapse. Let's go. So another thing that's impacting both France and the UK is that their empires are particularly unstable. That's because, well, anti-imperial ideas are becoming more widespread, as well as the fact that they keep promising, oh, things are going to get better, but no, they don't. That plus something that is redacted until Russia War is released. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that secret for a little while longer because it's literally one of the biggest differences in the timeline, what happened to Russia. And yeah, it's going to be pretty important. I'd like to keep that secret for now. Anyway, the UK also happens to be... So I did mention that the UK is aiding German industry. They're also doing that for Italy. Because Italy, I'm not entirely sure... I haven't actually set much into stone other than the fact that Italy wants to take some territory from France, among other things, Corsica. And probably also the rest of, well, Upper Savoy. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, so that's it. So with the US, the Great Depression is, yeah, it's called the ghost train economy because While the stock market is booming, shareholders are getting shareholders are getting more money than ever before, and major companies are getting tons of profits. Things are pretty bad for most people because wages are stagnant, inflation's on the rise, unemployment is still pretty high. So as a result, there's redacted happening, plus a rise in southern populism. If you want a general idea of what's happening, think Kaiserreich USA, but much more stable. Probably won't go into Civil War levels, but still. Right, what is this? Oh, okay, so this is the stuff for Russia. This is what little I can give at the moment. The Russian Civil War is still pretty devastating. Well, the effects are still felt in 1936, at least economically. The Great Depression, global Great Depression, has been bypassed in general, for reasons I'll give in a moment. Yep, international pariah. Few are willing to trade, and even fewer are willing to recognize what's going, at least diplomatically, what's going on in Russia. Um, yeah, okay. Right. That also the bastion of redacted. So here's Tanutuva, which is one of the more minor nations where I already have ideas for. So Tanutuva starts as a subject for Mongolia for reasons that can be looked up. There's supposed to be another idea, but for some reason I'm not able to do that effectively. Because for some kind of lag. Anyway, so Ukraine also has two ideas. Militarized redacted, as well as never another betrayal. Both are very strongly linked with Russia lore, so I'm not telling more. As for this is Mongolia, they're living, so first off, they're living on borrowed time. The reason for that is redacted due to Russia, and the fact that China is in its warlord phase. And Russia has no particular interest in what's going on in Mongolia. There's also the fact that redacted, because Russia. Yeah, so Russia might be next episode, might be the episode after that, but I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.